Nearly every hard-hit ball landed in a Phillies glove, leading to a tough luck 2-1 loss. Tonight, Jordan Zimmermann looks to stop the skid with a little punch from his offense. Cloudy day, a lot of season ticket holders at the ballpark today, and they hope to celebrate a Curly W tonight. Game 3 of the 4-game series, Jordan Zimmermann looking at the crowd from above. He's got some work to do here in a couple of minutes, and it's been an interesting season for him against the Phillies so far. Bob and FP, welcome to a nice night at the ballpark. One game where he was pretty dominant, and another one when he kind of gave us a big scare.
Yeah, we're going to look back on Jordan Zimmermann's season and go to where we think it kind of turned around. It was June 3rd against the Philadelphia Phillies. That's when he kind of started to lock it in, got the slider sliding once again. You remember in May, he didn't have the slider, but this game against the Phillies on June 3rd absolutely dominated him with 8 shutout innings. He would go to San Diego after that for a complete game shutout, then 8 innings against St. Louis, allowing just 3 hits. And then you remember July 11th at Citizens Bank. This is when he came out of the ball game with a cramp in his right bicep. So his control wasn't where it had been the last few starts before that. Called the trainer out, called Matt Williams out, Lee Kuntz on the mound. Left that game, came back against the Rockies, didn't have his command, but his last start, he was the Jordan Zimmermann that he was before the bicep cramp.
Yeah, got a lot of rest over the All-Star break, and so he came back strong at Miami. No decision. That was that game the Nats lost at the end. He gave up 2 runs, but he was pretty good through 7. So the Nats have hit 3 home runs against A.J. Burnett this year. And I know home runs aren't everything, but it's being talked about in town right now. Burnett 2-1, 503, and 3 starts against the Nats this season. This is a ball club that hasn't hit a home run in its last 9 games. We know the power's there. It's just waiting to come out, and maybe tonight's the night. Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Curly W, that's what everybody's after tonight. Jordan Zimmermann takes the mound for his 22nd start. Career against the Phillies, 12 starts, 5-6. May not impress you, but he dropped 4 of his first 5 career decisions, a whole lot better lately. Visit trainsearch.com. Find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. So it's 78 at game time, cloudy skies. It's looked like rain all day, but not a drop. And so here we go against the Phils. And Jimmy Rollins, along with Ben Revere, really setting the table for Philadelphia in this series. And Jimmy's hitting well against the Nats. 11 games, 7 runs. And he's hit 15 home runs this year and driven in 49.
We see the arsenal for Jordan Zimmerman. 69% heaters this year, averaging 94 miles an hour. Slider, curveball, the breaking ball combination. The changeup at 86 miles an hour, only 4% of the time. Coming off a tough luck, no decision last time out against the Marlins. Left the game with a 6-2 lead. The Marlins won that game 7-6. They only gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 6 fish through 91 pitches.
Phillies are 11th in the league in hitting. They're 8th in runs and 6th in home runs. And Ben Revere in this series, 5 for 10, a 4-hit night on Thursday. First pitch, 7:06.
Well, I did my part. I went a new way to the ballpark today, changed everything up. Tried to change that luck that was nowhere to be found last night. And change that routine. Do something different.
Left side. Rendon to his left. Time to pop up and throw out Ben Revere.
Anthony Rendon, as always, ready to play. Playing in tight, taking the bunt away from the speedy Ben Revere, and just a little jam job, but it got on him quick. Had to dive for it. If that ball gets to Ian Desmond, Ben Revere's safe. Nice play by Rendon to start this one up.
Jimmy Rollins, 3 for 8 RBI so far in this series. 7 for 30 career against Jordan Zimmerman. That's on the outside edge. Chris Guccione, he has the plate. And Guccione in his 8th year. Eric Cooper. Tom Hallion's the crew chief at second. Trip Gibson at third. Two and one.
Jordan's last start against the Marlins, the fastball command was impeccable. 94, 95 miles an hour. His tempo as quick as I've seen it this year. Just getting it and going and just mowing through that Marlins lineup. See him stop right there. He wanted that. 2-1 fastball. What do you got, pitch track?
Right side, and Cabrera can't get to it. So Jimmy Rollins and Ben Revere have combined for 9 hits in this series. That'll bring in Chase Utley.
So the defense for, I guess, the new look Nats with Asdrubal Cabrera at second base. Made a nice play last night. Hit 3 balls right on the screws. Nothing to show for it. The rest standard. A nifty play going to short right field with a slide spin move. He can pick it.
Grady Sizemore in left field for the Phillies. Revere and Bird across the outfield, and they've got Utley at second base with Rollins as usual. Years and years and years for those guys. And Chase Utley in this series, a walk and RBI, 0 for 7. Ryan Howard right behind him is 0 for 5, and then Marlon Bird down to Sizemore in this lineup. And the Phillies are getting great production for the guys up top. You figure if Chase Utley is 0 for first 2 games of a series, you've won at least one of those games. So they got some hot guys at the top and then down toward the bottom. Chase Utley in this series, 6 for 19. Pardon me, 6 for 19 against Jordan Zimmerman career. And a couple of RBIs with 4 walks. Big crowd, and they're still coming in. Time given, and Jimmy Rollins was making a move towards second base, And a lot of things had to come to a halt right there.
Very late, too. We saw the Ramos target set up in on Chase Utley. Well, that timeout, in essence, let Chase Utley see where the Nats were going to pitch him. Let's see if they go back inside here. And they're going back in there.
Jordan Zimmerman with 94 by him, 0-2. Inside the numbers with STG. So he's been the most stingy guy early in a ball game. April 9th, both of those earned runs against Miami. I mean, even Rollins getting a first inning hit against him was something pretty rare for Jordan. And the 0-2. That ball's going to come slicing right back to Bryce Harper for an easy second out. Ryan Howard didn't start the first game. 0 for 4 last night. And 3 for 17 career with a home run against Zimmerman. Ramos had designs on snapping to first, but a rather large man was standing between him and that throwing lane.
It didn't really have a good grip or a chance to get Jimmy Rollins, who was hustling back to first.
Phillies have stolen 71 bases. 51 of those by Revere and Rollins.
And Jordan's been good in the first inning. The second inning is the frame that's given him the most trouble this year. He's got a 4.79 ERA in the second.
Cabrera behind LaRoche. He thought it might get through to him. Adam cut it off, and that is it for the Phillies in the top of the first. Rollins a base hit. Jordan Zimmerman gets an 0 in the first, and now A.J. Burnett against the Nats. She'd rather be at the ballpark. And we're going to the bottom of the first inning. The Nats are hitting .248, 8th in the league, 6th in runs, down to 11th in home runs. But Ian Desmond, good production lately. Last 23 games, hitting .315. Over the longer stretch, 25 ball games at .309, collecting extra base hits. The Nats just need one of those nights for a few things to fall in, something hit hard not to be right at somebody, and then maybe somebody clears the fences here as they take on A.J. Burnett. He's made 19 career starts against the Montreal-Washington franchise.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, averages 91 miles an hour. The curveball, a knuckle curve at 81. He's been throwing the changeup a little bit more, but his last start against the Mets, he got knocked around. 7-1 loss, lasted 5 innings, gave up 7 runs on 8 hits. The Mets had a 4-run first inning, and Burnett really never regrouped. And it all started with a 10-pitch at-bat by Curtis Granderson, a 10-pitch walk. And after that walk, Burnett right into the stretch. Everything was elevated, and the Mets pounded him.
(6-10) in 23 starts with a 4.15 ERA. DENARD is 12 for 38 against him, a 3.16 career mark. That's inside.
It was a real windy night at Citi Field, too. I don't know if that affected Burnett and his command, but his sinker wasn't really sinking. His curveball never really in the zone. So he's coming off a rough one.
Target in again. Missing in there again, 2-1. Well, DENARD span on base, 27 consecutive games. Base hit last night. He was 1 for 4. Hit the daylights of the ball later, and that's that line drive that Roberto Hernandez found in his glove. And here's a 2-1.
And he can't just sit fastball, and fastball counts against Burnett. He'll throw whatever. 2-1 curveball right there. Steal a strike.
Span right up the middle. It's going to scoot on through. Once it got by the pitcher, nobody had a chance.
Well, we had the season ticket holders thing today where we went around and shook everybody's hand, and I must have got asked 20 times who was going to break up the no-hitter tonight, FP. And I said DENARD Span. I told everybody. So there it goes. There goes the no-hitter DENARD Span style. First hitter of the game, chopper up the middle. And why wouldn't you pick a guy who's been absolutely lights out for a couple of months now for the Nationals?
I had all kind of people asking me who's going to hit the next home run, and my answer was I have no idea. But well, I hope it's tonight.
Well, have you been practicing?
Nope.
You haven't just been walking around the house saying, see you. No, I don't like that one. See you. See you later.
We are a little rusty.
I mean, I just be careful you don't pull something tonight, because it's going to happen. I mean, you could pull a vocal cord. It's been a while for you. See you later.
I could go Michael K and just say, see ya.
See you later. Yeah, you're rusty.
Span's running, off-speed pitch, and a great pitch on which to run as he swipes number 21. I tell you, Carlos Ruiz made up some serious time with that throw.
He did, and Chase Utley tried to whip the tag on DENARD Span, but when DENARD goes, he's safe. He's been caught twice this year. It's been pickoffs at first base. No catcher has thrown him out stealing, and you see why. This one, fairly close. Chase Utley did a nice job of trying to sell the call. Watch Utley. Even though Span's safe, he looks right at second base umpire Tom Hellion and says, I got him. And he said, no, you didn't. He's safe.
Anthony Rendon, career against Burnett, 3 for 10. With a home run, 3 RBIs, and that's well outside 2-0. So he's fallen behind the first 2 batters. Right in there. Yeah, don't fall behind this guy. He hits over 330. 45 extra base hits. Still leads the league in runs with Paul Goldschmidt. 75 scored. Burnett working extremely slowly here to start the game. Now that Span put him off the stretch. Rendon, right side, perfectly placed. It's hit softly. Here comes Span. Marlon Byrd has no chance to even make a throw. And that quickly, the Nationals lead 1-0. Anthony Rendon's 58th RBI.
Not just playing the game the right way. DENARD Span on second base, nobody out. The Nats have been inconsistent this year, moving leadoff doubles or runners on second base with nobody out. And you see early in this game, Anthony Rendon sacrificing his at-bat to move Span. He gets the bonus plan because he's playing the game the right way, finds a hole, and he moves Span all the way to home and gets himself an RBI. Nicely done.
Well, the Nats, when they score first, really tough. By the way, can I say it before you do? Barrel's overrated. That ball was hit so slowly. Span was able to score easily without a play.
Well,
so after all the line drives we saw last night, a couple of bouncing balls right here. And Worth puts a charge into that. Out to center and to the track is Ben Revere. Jason Worth is a tough luck 0 for 9 in this series. That ball roasted.
I said the defense for the Phillies. You just saw Ben Revere covers a lot of ground in center field. Sizemore and Byrd on each side of him. Rollins Ashley left side of the Phillies infield. Utley Howard right side. And Carlos Ruiz behind the plate.
That'll bring in Adam LaRoche.
The barrel wasn't just overrated last night for the Nats. It was dumb. A lot of dumb barrels hitting line drives right at people. I'd change your bats.
Adam LaRoche, 12 career hits against Burnett. 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 387 batting average. And oh yeah, 6 walks. There have been times that AJ didn't want anything to do with Adam. And Rendon, a running threat. He's been good lately on the season, 10 out of 11. A.J. Burnett career 153 wins, 142 losses. Tonight's his 394th career start. There goes Rendon, and he swipes one, it appears. Chase Utley tried another sweep tag, and the Nats are 2 for 2 against A.J. Burnett.
Actually, Jimmy Rollins covered on that one. He tried to keep the tag on Rendon as he goes by the bag, but a good jump by Anthony Rendon. Rollins, seeing that his foot came off, and tried to go back there and get him, but Rendon looked like he got his foot right back on the base as he slid over second. Pops up. Rollins tried to keep the tag on, and 11th bag for Rendon, and the Nats are taking advantage of A.J. Burnett's deliberate delivery to the plate with 2 stolen bases here in the first.
Yeah, the Nats are 60 for 70 now. 2-0 to LaRoche. I think Adam thought that was a generous call. Fastball up. Chris Guccione called it a strike.
It's a fastball up, and LaRoche likes the ball down, so he's not going to offer at that. Top of the zone on pitch track.
Changeup. And A.J. Burnett's having a hard time locating the off speed in the early going. He was all geared up for 3-1 there.
Oh, May 3rd, Adam LaRoche, A.J. Burnett at the bank. And this was a high one. Straight up the elevator shaft, little helium ball off the bat of Adam LaRoche. And it just gets out for the homer. That's what a tater looks like.
Also had a walk and a double in that game.
Not that I know.
3-2 with one out, and LaRoche will sky it to center. That'll move Revere back. Rendon back to tag, and he'll head for third base. Get there with 2 outs. Two-out chance. Lee and Desmond to drive to number 66. And at shortstop, 2 hits and RBI in this series. And against A.J. Burnett, career 2 for 14, 3 walks. And he'll pull it to the shortstop, Rollins. Nationals get a couple of hits. Span, Rendon each stealing a bag. And on Anthony's 58th RBI, Washington on top. Tough to have him out of this lineup. The Nats just aren't the same team as they are when he's in there. So let's go right to the middle there. 15 over with him, and now 24-30 without, including 3-6 since his injury at Colorado. Starters have been great up at the top, and the one-run games at the bottom have not been that great.
I talked to Ryan today for a while. Asked him how he was doing. He said that best case scenario for his return, first week of September, but more likely, he said, maybe be ready for the last 2 weeks of the season. And I thought that was great news, because based on what we've been hearing, it sounded like he might be out for the year. But he's shooting for September 1st. And that would be a welcome sight, wouldn't it?
That would be like a huge addition to a guy who's going to obviously be eligible on your postseason roster. There may not be a team in baseball who gets a better deal than that around Labor Day than the Nats getting Ryan Zimmerman back.
He was real upbeat, real positive, and I was thinking it might be a season ender.
DENARD Span thought about challenging that ball, and the base hits keep on coming for Marlon Byrd, who's now 4 out of 10 in this series.
He can hit.
Batting average .271 coming in. That's his 4th base hit in 18 career at bats against Jordan Zimmerman. Grady Sizemore's hot in this series, 5 out of 8 with a walk and 3 RBIs. And he's on a 6-game hitting streak with 11 base hits. Zimmerman delivers a strike. Sizemore 1 for 2 career against him. He was leading off in that game in Philly, July 11th. Ground ball, shortstop first inning. Flared a single to right a couple of innings later, and then Jordan wasn't around to face him again as he was taken out of that game. Late swing, very late on 94. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
There's been some nice late run on the Zimmerman fastball tonight so far, even though that's a four-seamer. Sometimes you get inside a little bit and you get that late movement.
And DENARD Span tracking this one over towards the gap. 2 ground ball outs, 2 fly ball outs early.
We got more fireworks? That's awesome. Friday, August 15th, after the Nats play the Pirates. 7:05 start in that game. Post-game event will feature military pageantry and a patriotic theme music, beginning with a performance from the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard drill team, and they are fantastic, folks. That's going to be a good one, August 15th.
Yeah, make some plans for a Friday night. That's when the Nats come back from their next road trip to Atlanta and New York. Carlos Ruiz drives it the other way. Worth right there. Wanaka likes to swing at the first pitch. Quick out for Zimmerman. 2 outs in the second. And now down to the number 8 hitter, Cody Ashe. STG takes his inside numbers again. First pitch strikes. Well, one of them's been traded. A list that Clayton Kershaw does not sit at the top of, but pretty close to the top.
Let's go, Clayton. Clean it up.
And then Jeff Samardzija, the ex-Cub, now with Oakland. Boy, they cannot shake the Angels. A game back.
I know.
Coming into today. Angels are trailing 2-0 at Toronto.
Well, I'm rooting for the A's. I don't care who knows. Used to play there, and I hope they do well and win their division. And hope they have to take the tarps off the upper deck in October, and yeah, I hope we're there to see it.
That would be something. They beat Kansas City 8-3 today, behind John Lester, making his first start for them. He went 6 2/3, 3 runs on 9 hits, but got a lot of run support from an Oakland offense that's been a little bit quiet lately. Jordan Zimmerman, meanwhile, against Cody Ashe, has him 0-2.
That last pitch that he threw right there is a good pitch for Jordan. When you talk to opponents, that they know he's going to throw strikes, they know he's going to be around the zone, so you don't necessarily have a comfortable at bat against Jordan, but there's not a whole lot of thought process about the guy. We face a guy that throws so many strikes, and he's worked on this year actually throwing balls. Tried to climb the ladder right there, but that was higher than high. But I always enjoyed the difference between hitting in the minor leagues and the major leagues. It was basically the size of a trash can bottom where every ball was going to be, and it really took a lot of the mystery out of the at bat. You knew everything you were going to swing at would be in a certain little area. And in the minor leagues, you had grenade throwers. One would be up, one would be in the dirt, one would be a curveball spiked in the dirt. You really never knew where a pitch was going to be. But when you get to the big leagues, guys throw strikes. And then there's guys like Jordan that throw even more strikes. So it's really imperative that in his starts, he throws to a corner, locates, but also throws balls.
Target away, and it's right on the corner. Jordan Zimmerman strikes out Cody Ashe looking. First K of the night. He gets to face the pitcher next inning. Harper, Cabrera, and Ramos now straight ahead. have an early lead. Harper, Cabrera, Ramos. So we look at them on our Freight Railworks do-up, what they've done career against the Phils. Bryce the most runs, Ramos lots of damage, and Cabrera limited sample right in the middle. With more on Bryce, here's Dan.
Bryce Harper struggled a little bit since coming off the disabled list, hitting just .233 with 5 extra base hits since coming off the DL, and he's tried some new things. He's experimented with his stance. He's also tried bunting for a base hit on a couple occasions, and I asked Matt Williams earlier today what he thinks about that, if he's all right with Harper trying to lay down a bunt, or if he wants to see Harper swing away, and he said it depends on a lot of things, the situation, Harper's health, how his swing is feeling, but he said more often than not, I'd like to see him swing the bat because he has a chance to do something special every single time he steps in there. Williams said the last couple times Harper has tried to drop down a bunt, he would rather see Harper let it fly and see if he can drive something into the gap and get in a scoring position rather than try and dink one in there. So it's something that Williams
right there to see it.
It's amazing how far that ball hit fair on the initial contact.
Totally agree with that. It is not a reviewable issue. Nothing until you get to the outfield grass is reviewable. Outfield grass in the air. He needs to make a pitch here. 2-2 with 1 out. Now the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball foul into the dugout. It'd be great to lock him on a curveball here, but I don't know if Span is lockable at this point.
I doubt it. He's seen 4 of them this at bat.
Yeah. With the bases loaded, the 3-2 pitch. In the air to left field. Sizemore comes running in. Tagging from third is Harper, and Sizemore makes the grab. A run will score. It'll be 2-0 Washington. RBI for Span is 24th of the year.
A good pitch, fastball inside. Sizemore kind of got in between if you want to do a shoestring catch or a dive, but
it almost looked like that ball fooled him off the bat the way he reacted initially.
Yeah, he took one little step back and then came in on it.
Well, Rendon, he fed a single through the right side his last time up. It was an RBI. He's got the bases loaded, or excuse me, runners on first and second here with 2 men down. Outside, 1-0. This is where, Jamie, you know this better than anybody, this is where starters kind of teetering. A lot of pitches, a lot of base runners in 2 innings.
Yeah, and I can't say that he's nibbling. He's just missing. He's just flat out missing.
Boy, that pitch looked pretty good right there. I know he's missed a lot of pitches. And AJ just said, where is that? I do believe that he's fighting Chris Guccione a little bit. I thought he was fighting him a little bit with pitches down in the zone.
Just said it was out. The nod of the head told him it was away.
Two balls and 1 strike. As Rendon fouls it off.
It's almost one of those situations where you call the catcher out, make the umpire come out to the mound, and you pretend you're talking to the catcher, and you say, look, Chris, if I don't get that call, I'm not going to be able to stay in this game. So I'm either out of this game real quick, or I'm going to get that call. And you're going to find out, he may say, hey, I missed it, or hey, I had it just off the plate.
Yep. 2-1 pitch to Rendon. Inside, ball 3.
But see, that's where as a hitter, we think ahead of you guys. As you send the catcher out to talk to AJ, we tell the umpire that's a good call, and we can't hit that pitch.
Well, already 6 3-ball counts for AJ Burnett. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. A run is in here in the second for the Nationals. They have runners on first and second. The pitch to Rendon. In the air to center field. Pretty well hit. Revere going back toward the track, to the wall. It is gone. A home run for Anthony Rendon. A 3-run shot. It's the first home run for the Nationals in their last 10 games. It was the longest streak in the majors actively, and it was the longest drought they've had since they moved to Washington. But it's a 3-run bomb for Anthony Rendon, his 14th of the year.
Well, here's what happens. You get behind in the count. You have to pick a bigger part of the plate, and you make a mistake. Middle in, slightly elevated. We talked about it pregame, about staying out of the middle of the plate with the Nationals. And Rendon hits a 3-run home run to give him a 5-0 lead.
Well, now Guccione throws A.J. Burnett out of this ball game. He said something about that last pitch. Carlos Ruiz comes running out. Guccione ran from behind home plate out to A.J. Burnett and threw him out of the game. It's the second thing that A.J. has said. And Guccione now is chatting with Ryan Sandberg, and that's getting heated. And Sandberg's probably going to get thrown out of this ball game as well. And Sandberg is thrown out of this game. Don't forget, the Phillies lost Cliff Lee early in the first game of this series, and that pressed the bullpen. And A.J. is livid. We mentioned that it was the pitch earlier to Rendon that he was upset about, but there was also pitches in the first inning that Guccione said were down that he thought were strikes. So Burnett's been ejected. Sandberg's been ejected. You figure that Sandberg was going to get ejected when he came out because he obviously was pretty heated too. And he got awfully close to Guccione. It's kind of interesting. Sandberg, after being thrown out, chatted with Tom Howey, and now he's back talking to Guccione. And it's a little calmer situation at this point.
A lot of things happened after the home run was hit. AJ was walking in to get to the ball,
chirping some.
And the umpire walks out towards him, and AJ just says, basically, just give me the ball. That's all he wanted.
This is the pitch that he thought was a strike earlier. Yeah, this is the pitch to Worth. That was off the plate there, and he was still barking with Guccione.
That's where probably AJ just said, that pitch is outside.
Yeah, that pitch was outside. The other one wasn't.
Right.
So he's trying to show me up. That's what Guccione just said to Sandberg.
I think when AJ pointed there, that was it. I didn't think he would have taken anything verbally, but when he pointed, you don't do that. Same way as a hitter.
And right here is where Sandberg, obviously, you figured he was going to go too, just the way it was getting that heated. And Hallion has to restrain A.J. Burnett. You don't see this that much in baseball anymore. This kind of an argument between umpires and players and umpires and managers. But the Phillies will bring in Philippe Almont to take over with a count 1 ball and no strikes to Jason Worth. So Almont's going to get as long as he needs to warm up here. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you Almont's numbers with the Phillies down 5-0.
Let's supercharge this place.
Run home run by Anthony Rendon. The other blow was the error by Chase Utley that looked like a surefire double play, and that was early on in this second inning. You see Almont's numbers: 0-1 with a 14.73 ERA in 4 games so far here in the big leagues. Along with Matt Stairs and Jamie Moyer, I'm Tom McCarthy. Greg Murphy is out in the stands. We understand that Masson, our neighbors here in D.C., have lost power. So the Nationals television audience is watching our feed as we speak. So they didn't miss Anthony Rendon's 3-run home run, which has put a 5 spot on the board for Washington in the first 2 innings. Guys, we mentioned it. The error by Chase has really loomed to be very large in this inning, because it would have been 2 outs, nobody on, with Ramos coming up. Ramos wound up striking out, but instead it's 4 runs in the inning for Washington.
And that's the hard thing, is you don't want to give good teams extra outs. You know, and if anything, Chase was a little too quick coming in, making that play. Instead of just breaking it down and getting the ball and relaxing and touching the second base, he tried to do the catch and the tag at second base by himself right there. Basically took his eye off the ball, and that led to having the error, and then 4 runs came afterwards.
Well, and of course, A.J. Burnett has been ejected from this ball game. This is after the home run to Rendon. He throws the first pitch to Jason Worth. It's off the plate. He tells the home plate umpire, Chris Guccione, that that's outside, and Guccione throws him out, and he told Ryan Sandberg it's because he showed him up. There was a pitch to Rendon in his at-bat that A.J. thought was on the black. It looked like it was on the outside part of the plate. Here's Sandberg, who comes out to argue, and after getting into a pretty intense discussion with Guccione, he too is thrown out of this ball game.
Well, usually you can voice your opinion with an umpire, but when you start to point, they look at that as being shown up, and it's exactly what I think what A.J. did after that first pitch to Jason Worth, and Chris Guccione tossed him right there.
Well, Larry Boa has the lineup card, the Phillies bench coach. So Almont will face Worth. This is Almont's responsibility. So the line is closed on A.J. Burnett through 51 pitches. It's 1-0 to Jason Worth. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Guccione, who felt like he was shown up by A.J. Burnett, certainly put on the theatrical toss out of the game as he ran up like 10 feet before he ejected A.J. Burnett. On the outside corner, 2-1. Worth flied out to center his first time up. He's 0 for 9 in this series.
So I think it's imperative here that, especially after the way Felipe Almont threw in New York on Sunday, that he comes out and settles in real quickly here and gives the Phillies a couple of real strong innings.
Yeah, because they're looking for him to go through not only his next turn at bat, which he'll lead off the 3rd, but even beyond. It's got to be a blessing for Philippe Almont, because he has some time to kind of stretch himself out here and, you know, and gain some confidence.
But he has to be effective. We saw in New York, unfortunately, he wasn't as effective as he would have liked to have been. And now today's his day to redeem himself.
Out of play off to the right. It remains 3-2.
And really, as a pitcher, you get in this type of situation, you're trying to carry the pitching staff on your shoulders, because you don't want to burn your whole bullpen early to the mid part of the game. If you can carry the pitching staff into the mid part of the game, you're doing a big service to your bullpen and your starting rotation and your manager, actually.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Utley backhands, jumps and throws on one hop in time to get Jason Worth. Side is retired, but damage is done. It is a 30-minute half inning for the Nationals. They score 4 runs in the inning. They do so with just 1 base hit, the 3-run home run.
I'm a contractor.
rather quickly. We go to the top of the third. And that big lug that's walking to the plate is Philippe Almont, a right-handed pitcher, a left-handed hitter. Almont does not have any at-bats this year. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. He's got a big strike zone. Oh, boy. That's a pretty good rip right there. Are you going to tell me that's because he's from Canada? Is that what you're going to tell me?
He's from Canada?
No balls, 2 strikes to Almont. He fouls that breaking ball and stays alive. These relief pitchers like Philippe Almont, they don't generally get a chance to bat. Outside.
That's a big strike zone right there. Almont has.
He's 6'7". And he's down on strikes. So 1 away. It's his first official major league at bat, and it's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Zimmerman. And Ben Revere is coming up to the plate. Now, the Seattle Mariners will be in Citizens Bank Park to visit the Phils later on this month. It's a 3-game series, 2 night games and then a day game. And then it wraps up on Wednesday the 20th with a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. On Tuesday the 19th, it's the Ryan Howard bobblehead. Free to all fans. For tickets, go to Phillies.com. Phillies get a chance to see a lot of the American League West teams. They'll be able to gauge that race because they'll be out in Oakland later on this year. They'll play the Angels in Anaheim as Revere squirts one into left field, a base hit. And Ben has now hit in 8 consecutive games. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the third. And Jimmy Rollins will come to the plate. The Phillies have had a base hit in each inning so far against Jordan Zimmerman. Rollins out in front, and it's 0-1. Jamie, in his last start, Zimmerman threw nearly 74% fastballs. Is that high for a starting pitcher?
I would say it's a little bit above average. But, you know, on any given day, if you've got that extra life with your fastball, or you feel good, or you got good timing, you got good location, why not? I don't, you know, to me, the hitter dictates the kind of stuff you have. And if your overpowering hitters are getting a lot of quick outs with your fastball, you know, I would say continue to use it till they force you to change. And tonight it looks like he's got, not only does he have a pretty good fastball and he's locating it, but his curveball's been pretty sharp. His slider's been pretty sharp. I don't believe I've seen a changeup yet. It's a pitch that he doesn't use a great deal. But he does consider himself a 4-pitch pitcher.
0-2 is inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zimmerman, since the All-Star break before today, 12 innings, 12 hits, 6 earned runs, 12 strikeouts.
And since the beginning of July, I don't think his ERA is where he would like it to be. I think he's about at a 4.22. Whereas early in the season, first half of the season, he actually threw the ball quite well.
And Revere is back to the back end of that bag before a tag.
And I will say, when Jimmy Rollins was on base in the first inning, I noticed that Zimmerman does a number of different things in holding base runners on, which is good, and which, again, is part of the reason why their catchers are having so much success in throwing base runners out, or would-be base stealers out.
Rollins out front. Third strikeout. Looked like a curveball. Yes. Still no changeup.
And a good curveball right there, short and in the dirt.
Well, now Chase Utley, who flied to left his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
And if you think about holding base runners on and you see how important it is, it would have been a big benefit for AJ early in the game to be able to do a better job. Doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily hold them back enough to allow your catchers to throw them out, but it gives them a chance. And he gave up 2 stolen bases early in the game, one of which scored.
Yeah, Span and Rendon each stole a base in the first inning. Ben Revere's got a good sized lead off first right now. He doesn't go. Pitch is wide. It's 1-1 to Utley. I mentioned too about Zimmerman the fact that since the 1st of July his ERA is 4.22. Prior to that, in 17 games, his earned run average was 2.95. He was off to a very good start, which is one of the reasons why he was selected to the All-Star game this year. And this must be a killer. 2 straight years he's selected to the All-Star game, and 2 straight years because of injury he can't pitch.
The strikeouts per game have been going up as he's gotten into the season as well.
Well, he fouls it back. It is now even 2-2.
Not having a chance, having had the chance to see him pitch early this season, he might be one of those guys that might with those numbers that we've just talked about, might be telling us that he's a little bit of a slow starter, or he heats up as the weather heats up.
Well, you look at our Mazda leaders. He is the leader in victories here at Nationals Park with 27. Tomorrow's starter Steven Strasburg has 19. The throw over, and Revere does get back ahead of the quick tag from LaRoche. Two balls, 2 strikes to Chase Utley. And Utley pulls it on one hop. It's snagged by Adam LaRoche over at first. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. The Phillies have left 3 through the first 3. They trail at 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Home half of the 3rd inning here at Nationals Park. The Phillies trail at 5-0. Washington scored 4 unearned runs in the 2nd. Philippe Almond, if you're wondering what the heck's he doing out there in the 3rd, They came on when A.J. Burnett was thrown out of the ball game, arguing balls and strikes. Along with Matt Stairs, Jamie Moyer, and Greg Murphy. Larry Boa is managing right now. Ryan Sandberg was ejected from the game after A.J. Burnett. I'm Tom McCarthy. We welcome those of you who would normally be watching the Nationals game on NASN. They're having some technical difficulties that they are trying to rectify. Adam LaRoche will lead it off. It'll be LaRoche, Desmond, and Bryce Harper against Philippe Almond. LaRoche fly to center his first time up. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it away. And it's 0-1. A lot of talk about the Nationals' struggles since Ryan Zimmerman went down with that hamstring injury. Mike Rizzo, their general manager, confirmed yesterday that it was a grade 3 hamstring strain, which means he could be out for anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. Nationals were 3-6 before tonight in the 9 games since Ryan Zimmerman left, and they had scored only 27 runs, an average of 3 per game. That one's hit out toward shallow right, backhanded by Utley, and there's one out. Can one guy make that big of a difference for a team like this?
I think it can. I mean, especially Ryan was swinging the bat so well, and he was playing left field when Bryce Harper was out, coming back to third base. Just the presence in the lineup. He's a guy that hits the ball all over the ballpark. He gets in that situation of hitting fourth. Guys are not being moved out of different areas in the order, and it just makes it it's deeper lineup. 3 through, well, I consider the pitcher's a hitter, so 3 through 9, and his strength, and he's been swinging the bat well. So I mean, he can, a middle of the order guy that hurts missing.
1 ball and no strikes to Ian Desmond, who grounded out his first time up.
I agree with Matt. You know, his presence on a team, he's been here, he's been a part of this organization, a big part of this organization, and this organization really has kind of built their club around Ryan Zimmerman, even though he unfortunately has been hurt a number of times over the years. You see when he's out of the lineup the effect it does have on a ball club.
Well, the other effect too is that they had to go out and get Asdrubal Cabrera to play second base, and they traded Zach Walters for him. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ian Desmond, hitting .309 in his last 25 games. A little low, 2-1.
To me, the other part of it is the example that he shows on the field as a baseball player. He knows how to play the game. He goes out and plays every day when he's healthy, and I think that sets a great example for some of the younger players that they have on this club, and they look up to him.
I think about it, they said they were going to shut him down for 2 weeks. Nothing was going to happen. He was just going to rest for 2 weeks, and then he's going to go back after 2 weeks and start doing some exercising and some strengthening.
Yeah, I don't think they know totally how long he's going to be out. That pitch is low, and Desmond draws a 1-out walk. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Bryce Harper walked in the second and scored 1 of the 5 runs, or 1 of the 4 runs, I should say. First pitch is at the knees. It's 0-1. Boy, Almond does have good stuff. I mean, that ball was moving at 94.
Yeah, he just needs to learn how to harness it and use it in an effective way. Use it to get ahead, and then in the zone, and use it out of the zone when he's ahead in the count. It can be a great weapon for him.
On the outside corner, 0-2.
he needs to make that decision on how he's going to use it. You can talk to him all you want. You can spend time in the bullpen. You can play catch. But once you get between the lines is when you have to determine what you're going to do with your ability and the stuff that you have. And if you let your surroundings influence you, you're probably going to be very inconsistent as you go through your career.
In the dirt, 1-2. Harper, who missed time earlier this year with a thumb injury. Runner goes. Pitch is taken low. The throw to second by Ruiz. Boy, he's really been tested tonight. He had no chance in throwing out Desmond, who steals his 11th bag of the season. Carlos Ruiz is one of the best catchers in the league, but he just had no time to make these throws.
Tell you what, Desmond was almost halfway there when Carlos was catching the ball.
Omar was ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. It's now even 2-2. Ground ball right side. Utley ranging, and it spins into the outfield. A base hit. Desmond will score. It's 6-0 Washington. RBI single for Bryce Harper, just his 14th RBI of the year. The ball just kept on hooking away from Chase Utley.
Well, it wasn't hit that hard, but it was hit in the right spot. And again, you see where that stolen base, the base hit in the stolen base, sets up that RBI for Bryce Harper. Yep. The Nationals have scored 2 runs tonight because of that type of that aggressiveness that the Nationals have shown.
Well, here's Asdrubal Cabrera, who reached on an error by Chase Utley in the second. Turned out to be a big error. It led to 4 runs. Cabrera takes a strike. Cabrera was saying after last night's ball game, he said, you know, the first inning felt weird being out at second base. He said, but after that, I felt confident again, particularly when I made that one play. Remember that play he made to his left? He said, if you play shortstop, I think you could play anywhere in the infield. Pulls that one fair. Inside the bag, down the right field line. Harper's on his way to third. Bird's going to hold Cabrera to first. And the Nats now have runners on first and third with 1 out. Well, that's Cabrera's first hit in a Nationals uniform. Larry Boa telling Jimmy Rollins to play for 2 here.
Sinker down and in. Cabrera hit the ball really well yesterday. Lined out 3 times. Gets a fastball in or half the plate. Just inside the reach of Ryan Howard at first base.
Harper third, Cabrera at first. Wilson Ramos is the batter. 5 hits now for the Nationals. Again, the Phillies set up to try to turn 2 here in the third. Starts him off with a sinker low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, Almont has shown where he can pitch in the bottom of the zone, but unfortunately it's below the zone. It's not giving the a hitter a chance to swing at that pitch, because out of his hand it looks like it's going to be a ball. And it gets even lower, so he needs, I think, if he could slightly elevate that pitch to at least to get the hitter to attempt to bite at that pitch, and then let it sink out of the bottom of the zone. Let the pitch do what it's supposed to do. Looks almost like he's trying to force it to sink.
That's a good point, because as a hitter, you sit in there and you say, okay, very good sinker, but he keeps at the bottom of the zone. So as a hitter, you think to yourself, all right, let's get this about 8-10 inches above the knees. That's the one we're going to go after. Anything a little lower, we'll let it go, because it's going to go right out of the strike zone. Well, a lot of pitchers at times will throw like a really good sinker, and you don't swing at it, and it's a ball out of the zone, and the pitcher will kind of look at you like, wow, that was a good pitch. How didn't he swing? Well, and like Jamie made the great point, it starts too low.
Just never has a chance to be a strike. 2 balls and no strikes to Ramos with runners on first and third. And a line drive caught by Utley. 2 outs here in the third. Jordan Zimmerman's coming up. Murph, what does Bob McClure think of Philippe Almont and what he needs to do to get better?
Well, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what Jamie and Matt had to say, and I had a conversation with Bob McClure today about this kind of thing. It actually started with a conversation about Cole Hamels and how aggressive he has been over his last couple of starts, and you know, Bob was just kind of singing Cole's praises, but he kind of then morphed into talking about some of the other guys, and not Philippe in particular, but a lot of the young guys, and he said, you know, it's so easy for the pitching coach and for other guys to say they want them to go out there and trust their stuff and be aggressive, but until these guys go out in between the lines and do it themselves, they're not going to be able to find that success that they're all looking for. And you know, I think we've seen a lot of examples of that this year, and I think Philippe would be one of those examples. And it was just interesting listening to McClure talk about, you know, there's only so much that someone else can do for a player before the player has to do it himself.
There's a fly ball to deep right center field by Zimmerman, and Marlon Byrd is able to track it down a step from the warning track. Man, did he have to cover a lot of real estate to finish up the bottom of the third inning. The Nationals score a run. On 2 base hits, they leave 2, and Marlon Byrd out of nowhere able to save the bottom of the third for Philippe Almont. Fusion Laminators, a super fast, super easy way to laminate and protect your best work. Order yours today from who but WB Mason. Now we go to the 4th inning here at Nationals Park. Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd, Grady Sizemore to lead it off for the Phillies. Nationals on top 6-0. They scored 1 in the first, 4 in the second, and 1 in the third. Jordan Zimmerman just nearly busted open the bottom half of the third inning. What a play by Marlon Byrd to close the way he closed and able to make that catch at the warning track. It's all in the jump, and Marlon did get a great jump. He saw that perfectly off the bat. Still a lot of ground to cover, though, to get that ball.
No, it is. And we've talked about it all year. Marlon Byrd getting tremendous jumps. Fastball, balls that hit in front of him. Balls to his left, balls to right. The key is the initial jump. And he opens up and goes after that ball in the gap right there. And Ben's very happy that Bird slowed down. But he gets tremendous jumps. He might not be the fastest outfielder, but he's become to be a very smart outfielder because he can read where the catchers are located, reads the pitches, and gets good jumps on balls.
Well, the big thing there, he didn't slow down.
Right.
Oh, the ball's over my head. I'm going to let it drop and play it off the wall. I think he believed he was going to catch that as soon as he turned to go after that ball.
0-1 to Ryan Howard. 0-2 now to Howard. I will say, though, you know, Marlin began his career with the Phillies. Watched him as a center fielder. He was then traded here to Washington. It's been a pleasure to watch him play this year. He never amounted to what the Phillies had hoped he would be, as Rendon makes a good play to his left, bobbles for a moment, and throws out Ryan Howard. And that's part of the reason why the Phillies traded him away. But he's come back, as we've said, a totally different player. Well, it's time now for our Geico quote of the day. Marlon Byrd on not being traded. It feels good to be wanted here. But at the same time, Ruben was probably like, hey, this is my guy. You're going to have to do something big for me to pull the trigger. There still is a chance that he is traded. He'd have to go through waivers, though, at this point. Pulls that one into left field, a base hit, so he's 2 for 2.
Well, when you hit 274 and 21 of 63, you are the guy. You are the offense, basically, right now of this team. And I mean, Jimmy Rollins is having a good year power-wise. You know, and all these guys are. But when there's one guy in the lineup that you're afraid of hurting you right now, it's not Ryan Howard. It's Marlon Byrd right now.
I agree. Power-wise.
Power-wise.
Here's Grady Sizemore. He flied to center his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
Or if you're an opposing pitcher, you're going to say, I'm not going to let this guy beat me in a key part of the game.
Sizemore 5 for 9 in these 3 games for the Phils. And he lines that one into right field, a base hit. Worth plays it on a hop. Bird stops at second. First time tonight the Phillies have had 2 base runners. Our area's most respected weather team count on Hurricanes Sheena and Bill for complete weather coverage. Watch NBC 10 First Alert Weather. Count on it.
Okay, let's think back to the first game of this series. Grady Sizemore got a couple hits down, right? Yesterday, Fister pitched him up. The one time he pitched him up and got him out away, or got him out up. Except he made a mistake out over the plate. He hit the ball the other way for double. Right there, Zimmerman tries to pitch him away. Or excuse me, pitch him up. He makes an adjustment and fights it off and gets a single to right field. So here's a hitter that you're seeing that is recognizing how he's being pitched and making adjustments as he goes through at bat to at bat, pitcher to pitcher, and game to game. And I think it goes to show you the experience that he brings as a hitter.
Yeah, and the more and more comfortable he's getting in these spots as well. But one pitch to Carlos Ruiz. Carlos fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
And the power's going to come because he has a very short swing. Like Jamie said, he's making adjustment to a leg. He's making adjustment to different teams and how they're pitching him. Now, second time around, he's going to learn how he's been pitched to these guys. But I still believe once he's healthy, 100%, once he gets more at bats under his belt, he's still a 20 home run guy because he has that short swing with power.
And it seems like he's got that power to pull and then go the opposite way, too.
Right.
Now the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they're in the top of the 7th inning. How about this? Jake Peavy and Jacob deGrom. Neither is allowed a hit. Peavy's perfect through 6.
That'd be one boring game to watch. Sorry, Jamie.
And I was just going to compliment that game. Guess I won't know.
In the air to left field. Harper going back. He has room. Makes the catch.
Jamie, you can give your 2 cents. I'll give my hitting offense perspective. You can say
that's the way the game's supposed to be played. It becomes a chess match at this point. No hits. You gotta try to figure out a way to manufacture, get a base runner, and it's what we do, what you do in batting practice. Get them on, or get them over, get them in. That's how this game has been for over 100 years. That's how it was brought. That's how it was created. That's how it's been played. Not so much now in today's game.
Yeah.
Now we're going to say, let's get them on and let's just keep swinging as hard as we can.
Cody Ashley loops one out towards shallow right. Jason Worth comes in, and the Phillies leave a couple more here in the 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits. We could debate offense, pitching for the entire night. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Lower Valley Honda dealer, shophonda.com. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser, here's to Budweiser, here's to baseball. And by Chevrolet, visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Last of the 4th inning, top of the orders coming up for the Nationals. Nationals lead at 6-0. Well, the whole Sharknado theme has taken over the president's race even more. Abe Lincoln decided since the Sharks were gone, he put his own outfit on, and he took care of 3 of the 4 presidents before Teddy was able to take care of him. Teddy was a rough rider, Matt. He was able to play rough on that one and win that race easily. Not sure what the whole affinity is for the Sharknado release, but they seem to like it down here. DENARD Span will lead it off. Span is 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and an RBI his last time up. Singled had scored his first time. Philippe Almont is the pitcher for the Phils. He delivers a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the plate. This is going to be a tough play for Utley because of Span's speed, and he's going to beat that out. An infield hit. It's his 2nd hit of the night. already been up 3 times in the first 4 innings. Well, Murph, his on-base percentage continues to rise since the 1st of July.
It is pretty good, and he is the subject of our Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost 3 Coors Light. He has, DENARD Span has reached safely via hit or a walk in 28 straight games. That dates back to June 28th for the Nats. It's the 5th longest such streak in Nats history. So, yeah, he has heated up, and he has been good. And when you have speed like that, you'll get on the base a lot.
Look at that right off the plate. You can see the dust pop up from the plate. Well, you got to keep an eye on him now. He has stolen a base tonight. That was against A.J. Burnett. First pitch to Rendon is inside, 1-0. Well, an on-base percentage in almost 2 months' time of nearly 500 is pretty darn good.
Yeah, I would take it.
Hasn't led to a whole lot of offense, though, for the Nationals. How about this? Coming into tonight, they had only scored 56 runs since the All-Star break, which was less than the Phillies. They had only hit 4 home runs. Phillies hit 13. 28 extra base hits. The Phillies had 41. Two balls and 1 strike. Now it's changed a little bit tonight. They got the home run by Rendon, but that's the only extra base hit.
Isn't San Diego Padres leading since the All-Star break runs scored?
They are. They have scored since the All-Star break more than 70 runs. It's not counting tonight. They haven't started yet against, or they just started now against the Braves. They had 20 hits last night, the Padres. We saw them. They weren't hitting when we saw them.
No, and last night I was watching some of that game, and I believe Hale got a line drive hit off his leg.
Yeah, David Hale did.
And the manager came out. Wasn't very happy.
That one's hit well out to right center field. Revere on the run. He jumps, and it's off his glove in the scoreboard, and it's rolling around. Span will go to third. He'll be held there. It'll be a double for Rendon. He is now a triple away from the cycle here tonight, and we're only in the 4th inning.
Talk about location. Chute set up away, and Ben playing him to shade the pole. A long way to right center, and just over the reach of the Ben's glove. But it comes back to how important it is repeating your arm slot and repeating pitches and not missing. And that's what Amon's doing right now on a consistent basis. He is missing. Where's Chute set up?
One of 6 out of the 7 hits tonight, the Nats have been even in the count or ahead. They have one at bat. They're behind in the count where they got a hit.
Totally different story from the first 2 nights. I mean, I know the bullpen on Monday had to deal with a lot, but even last night, Roberto Hernandez was working ahead the entire night.
Just goes to show you the aggression that the hitters have in general when they're ahead, even or ahead in the count versus behind in the count.
That one's pulled through the hole. The left side, a base hit. 1 run is in. Rendon's going to be held to third. RBI single for Jason Worth. 7-0 Nationals. I guess Bob Henley, the third base coach, can afford to be somewhat conservative on these last 2 hits. He held Span. He holds Rendon since there's nobody out. Now first and third for LaRoche. The Phillies are going to have to get somebody up in the bullpen. I would assume it'll be Cesar Jimenez. And LaRoche rips one toward right center field. That'll be in for an extra base hit. Revere cuts it off at the track. A run is in. The throw goes toward the cutoff man. An RBI double for Adam LaRoche. 4 straight hits to begin the 4th. It's 8-0 Washington. Boys, this game is getting ugly. 14th double of the year for LaRoche. Bob McClure out to the mound to talk to Philippe Almont.
Part of this too goes back to, we talked about this all year long, is getting some uncomfortable at bats, pitching inside, moving hitters off the plate, not necessarily hitting people, but moving hitters' feet, making them uncomfortable, getting ahead in the count, forcing early contact, and tonight that's really not happening for the Phillies. Now you look back at last night's game with Roberto Hernandez, he had 6 first pitch outs and several 2 pitch outs where the Nets put the ball in play. Yeah, they hit some balls hard, they hit them right at people, but last night they didn't fall in. Tonight they're falling in.
Yeah, there's been a few of those that have just started to fall in, the trickling shots through the hole.
That's baseball.
Yeah, but there's been other shots like the LaRoche one and the Rendon home run and double. Those have been shots. Well, the Phillies have played the infield back. They're trying to get an out here, even though there's another runner over third. In fact, 2 in scoring position for Desmond, who takes on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Desmond has walked and scored a run. He grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Ground ball to first. That's a foul ball. It's 0-2. I think that was Desmond trying to get the ball to the right side, get an RBI, and get the runner over to third. He may have just cracked his bat. Larry Boa managing tonight for Ryan Sandberg, who was ejected right after A.J. Burnett was ejected from the game. Larry, of course, who managed the Phils from 2001 to 2004. Major League scoreboard, each team has gotten a hit in the Giants-Mets game. Pablo Sandoval's double ended the no-hit bid for Jacob deGrom, and Daniel Murphy's double ended the perfect game for Jake Peavy.
Now it's become a ball game.
Well, didn't you like last night's game, man? That ball is back towards center, playable for Revere. Worth tags from third. He'll score. LaRoche won't go to third. 9-0 Nationals. Sac fly for Desmond. Did you like the crispness of last night's game?
Yeah, but I still like to see a little bit off.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, if you want to see a little bit of offense, there's been a lot provided by the Nationals tonight.
Careful what you wish for.
Here's Bryce Harper. Harper's 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. He walked his first time up. Just off the inside corner. 1-0. Harper fouls it back. It's 2-1. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. Harper doesn't think that's a strike, so that was up. I do think that Philippe Almont is somewhat of a conundrum. As you see this pitch, it may have been up a little bit, just above the belt.
Well, if we don't open up that zone a little bit, we're going to be here a long time.
2-2 to Harper. Swing and a miss, and there are 2 outs. He is kind of a conundrum, though, Philippe Almont. I mean, we keep talking about his ability. You can see it. I mean, 95 movement. He's had success in the minor leagues. For some reason, though, there's a block. There's something that's not allowing him to have success here in the big leagues. I know we've been breaking it down ad nauseum during the last couple of years, but there is just something.
Well, you see spells where he's got that sinker, and it's top to bottom, it's top to bottom. Then all of a sudden it starts going east to west, east to west. It's behind in the count. Balls start getting hit hard. You've seen a number of breaking balls tonight that have just been cement mixers, and then all of a sudden he'll paint with a slider or a curveball. So it's a matter, as Bob McClure said, it's he has to find that.
Yeah.
There are things here that you can only teach so much. You can only talk so much about things. Guys have to start to get it, start to understand it, and then put it to use on the field on a consistent basis.
2 balls and no strikes to Cabrera.
And I'm by no means an expert on pitching, but I've seen a lot of pitching. And Jamie, I don't know if you agree with me or not. If he would elevate his fastball once in a while, as a hitter, we just look down the zone. We talked about this with the sinker. His slider is down the zone. His 2-seamers down the zone. And that slider he threw to Harper, that was a questionable call, was elevated and it froze him. So to me, I'm looking down the zone. Now all of a sudden, if he starts elevating a little bit with that sinker, because he throws hard enough where he can throw that front door sinker up in the zone, or start it outer half, thigh high, you're going to get a lot of swing and misses.
If he could add and subtract also, like Bartolo Colon does in New York with his sinker. And all of a sudden he goes from being a 1-pitch pitcher to a 3 or 4-pitch pitcher with 1 pitch. And you're right, Matt, when you got a sinker ball pitcher, you're looking down, and when he's beating you down, you force him to move the ball up. When he's not beating you down, you're probably going to beat him because he's in the middle of the plate and the ball's going east and west. So I mean, it's a constant battle, but you, as a pitcher, you have to recognize that immediately as you get out on the mound, what you have versus what you don't have.
That ball's pulled foul. It's 3-2. Well, and as you guys said, the simplistic way of putting it is Bob McClure said that Philippe has to figure it out. Maybe he won't.
He might, but there's got to be some reason why a guy who throws 94 or 95 miles an hour gets an opportunity to come up here, and guys are taking tremendous swings and squaring up majority of the pitches, especially this year when he's come up. There's got to be something going on. And Jamie hit on the nose, too much in the middle of the plate.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. That one's off the end of the bat out toward left center field. Revere on the run, makes the diving attempt. He can't get it. It'll go to the wall. LaRoche scores. Cabrera is on his way to third. He'll get there with an RBI triple. 10-0 Nationals. Well, they have woken up their offense here tonight.
That's a pretty good sinker right there. But as Matt said, you're down. and you're down and away, or middle of the plate down, you're not forcing the hitter. You're not changing any eye level. You're not changing anything. And the speeds really aren't changing either.
10 runs on 10 hits. We're in the fourth. And a dribbler foul, and it's 1-0. Listen, Ramos is 0 for 2. He's struck out. He's also lined out.
And where's the last time you've seen a hitter move his feet on a pitch? He hasn't.
2011.
The only time he moves his feet is when he takes a step forward to swing or to run to first base. They're not moving backwards.
A liner to center field. That'll drop for a hit. So Ramos also has a hit. Cabrera scores. 11-0 Washington. And the ninth man to bat in this inning will be Jordan Zimmerman, but he will face a different pitcher. The Phillies will make a double switch here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Cody Ashe will come out. Reed Brignac comes in to play third. Larry Bowa out to the mound to take the baseball from Philippe Almont, and Cesar Jimenez will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. Well, somewhat of a disastrous night.
I'm a contractor. It's a good feeling to build something.
We welcome you back to Masson. We welcome you back to Nationals Park. We have our truck power issue taken care of. We had a power outage. And here's your game summary. It's all Nats now. 11 runs and 11 hits. Anthony Rendon is a triple short of the cycle. A.J. Burnett ejected after throwing a pitch for a ball to Jason Worth, following the Rendon 3-run homer back in the second. And Asdrubal Cabrera suddenly having a big night for the Nats. He got aboard on the fielder's choice, a base hit, an RBI triple since. So there we are. By the way, we'd like to thank our friends from the Phillies. In the middle of your screen there, that's Tommy McCarthy, their play-by-play guy. To our left, Matt Stairs, the former Nat, and Jamie Moyer. So thanks for those guys for filling in until we were able to get power back to our truck, and we are right next door to them. Looking forward to bringing you the rest of the game tonight. Here's Cesar Jimenez, 29-year-old lefty, just called up, by the way, when the series started on Thursday, and he'll face Jordan Zimmerman, the ninth Nat, to bat here in the fourth inning. And I'd like to introduce to you my partner, F.P. Santangelo. And did we just, for a moment, I thought we might have had a balk, but something about the baseball had Chris Guccione running out from behind the catcher to go look at the ball. Maybe the hitter requested that. I don't know why Jordan would do that in an 11-0 game, but that was a little strange.
Well, thanks for the introduction. Appreciate it.
F.P. Santangelo, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I found out what the problem with the offense was. It's 11-0.
Us. Ramos at first, and Jordan Zimmerman to deep short. The base hits keep on coming for the Nationals. That's 7 hits in this inning. And Jordan Zimmerman's 1 for 2. With a walk, a run scored, and a base hit, and the guys are going to bat around here.
Well, last time up, Jordan hit a bolt to right center field that Marlon Byrd ran down, made a fantastic running catch on. This time up, ground ball in the hole, and the hits are just raining down on the Nats tonight. 11 runs, 12 hits. The line is moving, and it's already the 4th inning.
And all of us here in the booth are looking forward to the next call of a home run. And hopefully we'll be around for that.
I mean, you called it. I heard it.
Yeah.
Just nobody else did.
So here's DENARD Span, the 10th man to bat in the inning. He got the whole thing started with that chopper that he beat out to the right side. So DENARD, another multi-hit game, his 38th of the year. He has scored 2 runs. He's moving up that chart as well with 66 on the year. A 1 from the left-hander Jimenez.
3-1 fastball right down the middle. Rendon crushed it to left center field. Like you said, he needs a triple for the cycle. You're going to have a few shots at it.
It is early. And a 1-1. It breaks away from DENARD Span at the last moment. Kind of funny the way this game started. After we talked about all the line drives that were caught last night, the Nats had a bunch of 8-hoppers that got through the infield first couple of innings. Then the Rendon blast. And Matt Williams' offense generating just about every kind of base hit you could imagine tonight. 1-2 to Span. DENARD will pull that pitch to Ryan Howard to a couple of knees to take care of that. And the Nationals are gone in the bottom of the 4th. They're gone. We're back, and we're all happy about that. We hope you are too. Look at that score. Nats by 11.
It's Olive Garden's first ever Alfredo 3-course. It's
season tickets. That sounds like a good deal to me. New for the 2015, the Nationals are introducing Nats Plus. Tickets plus the status you deserve. For all renewal and postseason ticket details, visit nationals.com/2015. And let's go back to the 2nd inning. A.J. Burnett threw a fastball outside to Jason Worth. He kind of looked at Chris Guccione and said, that's outside. He was questioning a pitch earlier. He said, is that outside? And Guccione said, yeah. Burnett threw it even further outside, and he motioned to Guccione, that's outside. And Guccione, with a quick Italian temper right there, ran him out of the ball game. He wasn't taking anything from A.J. tonight.
Left after 51 pitches, only 25 of them were called strikes. And this one goes to the top of the 5th inning. Larry Bowa is a man who's managed in the big leagues before, knows the game. He's the bench coach, and he takes over for the ejected Ryan Sandberg. Jordan Zimmerman, meanwhile, 54 pitches, 41 strikes. Not exactly cruising. He has given up 5 hits. Hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning so far. But he's kept the Phillies from getting a base runner beyond second base so far. He'll be facing Reed Brignac, who came in on a double switch as we rejoined you. And then the top of the order, Ben Revere and Jimmy Rollins in the 5th inning.
I'd like to thank all the Nats fans for the kind words on Twitter while we were off the air. And I went old school. I went telegraph.
You were doing play-by-play by Morse code, somebody told me.
I was doing it on Twitter. Just trying to keep them updated. If Nats fans could have heard our broadcasts, well, first of all, we'd be fired.
Well, I am a brutal analyst, and I'd call you at best a mediocre play-by-play guy.
We switched roles, and we're saying whatever.
All right.
And I had tears rolling down my cheeks. So we made light of it, had fun, and here we go. We're back. It's good to be back.
At top of the 5th inning, and Brignac a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reed Brignac was with the Phillies. First time we saw them this year. Parts of 7 years now in the major leagues with Tampa Bay, Colorado, and the Yankees. He's been in the minor leagues for the most part of the last 2 seasons. And the Phillies picked him up as a minor league free agent last November. Up and away.
Well, you talk to pitchers, especially a guy like Jordan that grinds. Sometimes it's more difficult to pitch an 11-0 game than it is a 2-1. You know, that focus stays real sharp when you have a 1-run lead or, you know, a tie ball game. It's tough to stay really mentally sharp in a game like this when you have the lead.
And a ball to left center for Bryce Harper. Comes sliding back to him. 3 fly ball outs in a row by Jordan Zimmerman.
All right. You know the drill. Tweet your photo using hashtag #MASSandFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Met a bunch of fans today when we walked around shaking hands with the season ticket holders that actually had their photos put on during the broadcast. It was nice to meet them.
A lot of them did not have the same names, though, that I thought their names were.
Well, a lot of them thanked me for making up names for them, and they like them.
Ben Revere robbed of a hit by Rendon. Cut it off in the 1st inning. Then he singled to left. So Ben Revere's having a great series. He's 6 for 12. And that ball inside, 2-0. There's a lot to like about this young center fielder. Hitting well over 300. Top 7 in the league in batting average. Jordan's going to be able to field that and throw him out for a quick and easy 2nd out. And take on Jimmy Rollins here in the 5th. Inside the numbers with STG. Most hits against our organization. Ryan Sandberg, the ejected Phillies manager, on that list. Jimmy Rollins has tied Ozzie Smith on that list.
Barry Bonds used to wear out the Expos. Wear them out. A lot of those home runs with Bonds too. I think all of them were actually.
See the one guy who made Olympic Stadium, played a little small up there?
Oh.
I mean, that place was a cavern.
He did.
Jordan Zimmerman against Jimmy Rollins, who singled to right in the 1st inning. Jordan struck him out swinging in the 3rd. And Rollins had a good rip. Back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A breakout night for the Washington offense, and Jordan Zimmerman benefiting from that. Now it's just a challenge to see if he can go maybe 7 for the 8th time this year, or 8 innings for the 4th time. He's thrown a couple of complete games this season, and he strikes out Jimmy Rollins. So a 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight for the Nats ace, Rendon. Look out, coming up.
What makes Train unstoppable? At Train's time.
Would have, trust me, but we couldn't. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to the big blow of the game so far. Anthony Rendon with a home run, his 14th. That's right, a home run. All the way over the fence. A 3-run job to make it 4-0. 4-run second, 1-run third, 5-run fourth. Look at that, 1-4, 1-5, and that's put some crooked numbers up there tonight.
Looks like somebody's dialing San Francisco.
4-1-5.
Here's our Honda do-up for the Nats, bottom of the 5th inning. Tonight, Anthony Rendon, a perfect night. He's also driven in 4 runs. Facing the left-hander, Cesar Jimenez, and they faced each other before. Rendon 0 for 1 with a strikeout against the southpaw. Good to see Jason Worth get in the hit column tonight. When he got that single last inning, he was 0 for 10 in the series. A hard luck 0 for 10. And then another RBI hit by Adam LaRoche.
Boy, that triples the last leg of the cycle. That's the hardest one to get. Last cycle, August 28, 2008. There you go. Christian Guzman against the Dodgers.
Brad Wilkerson, the other Nat to hit for a cycle. That was in the first 2 games of the 2005 season.
I just hope he knows that he needs a triple for the cycle.
There have been others victimized by
some
that.
people had a chance and didn't realize it.
2-1 pitch. Rendon pulls it, backs up Kodiashi. First out, bottom of the 5th.
Oh, it's Papa John's plus tonight all season long. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu prices at papajohns.com by entering promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Washington Nationals.
Pardon me, Kodiashi taken out of the game. Reed Brignac is in to play third base. Came in on the double switch last inning.
There's a hashtag trending on Twitter right now, Carp, about the power outage, and it's blame Coco. And from where I'm sitting, I mean, he was the last one on the air. He was doing the sideline report.
Wow.
And I don't know if he pressed a button down there or unplugged something, but a lot of fingers pointing at Mass and Dan. And I'm one of them.
Dan, we told you to not use your blow dryer during the game.
That fan behind you, plug it back in.
I don't know what happened, guys. I don't know if I tripped. You were the giant outlet behind me. I can't explain it.
You were the last one. And, Bob and I
you two have at it. I'm on
shook hands with season ticket holders and signed autographs today. You were nowhere to be found.
I didn't get invited.
We went out to the fairgrounds and you were nowhere to be found, and then we went off the air. So yeah, I'm with it. Blame Coco. Get it trending. Stands for.
Don't worry about it, Dan. I'm with you. Winner tie.
Yep.
Thank you, Bob.
3-1 to Worth. RBI hit last time. He's driven in 60 this year. Drives that ball to right center. You know Marlon Byrd's going to catch it after that play he made earlier tonight on Jordan Zimmerman. Marlon Byrd's had an amazing game with one of the season's best catches in this ballpark and 2 hits. That's a name you could hear between now and the 1st of September. But would he pass through waivers? I have heard that there's a couple of things in his contract that make it a little complicated, but guys playing ball like he is, somebody's going to want to add him. Adam LaRoche, RBI double last time up, out of play left side.
And Dan explained it last night. The trade deadline, you don't have to pass waivers. And after the trade deadline, you have to go through waivers, and it goes by what place the ball club is in. And I remember in 2010, the San Francisco Giants picked up Cody Ross so that the Padres didn't get him. They actually just took him so the Padres couldn't. The Padres were in first place. The Giants were in second place. They grabbed him because they heard the Padres wanted him.
Which is called blocking.
They just kept him away from the Padres. He ended up winning him a World Series just because the Giants said, no, you can't have him. Giants really didn't want him per se, but they just didn't want the Padres to have him. So they blocked it, took him, and the rest is history. He led them to a championship.
0-2 to Adam LaRoche. 0 for 2 career against Jimenez, who just misses. Atlanta's underway at San Diego. Braves have an early run there. That's Irvin Santana, 10-game winner against Ian Kennedy, who's 8-9. Dodgers and the Padres have put the hurt on the Braves this week. High fly ball to Sizemore, left center gap. The Nats are gone, and they go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. It's all Washington by 11. President's race. Teddy looking pretty innocent in the end. Abe is the Sharknado tonight. Abraham Lincoln, the Sharknado. Then Teddy takes care of him.
You know, I jogged to the Lincoln today, and I spent some time paying my respects to Abraham Lincoln. I don't think he would really appreciate looking like a shark tonight. I'm just saying. Yeah. He's not a shark. Abe is not a shark.
I've never heard of a shark in Illinois. No. Monday at 10. Well, never mind. Don't miss one of the summer's hottest new shows. Are the people of Chester's Mill trapped?
Yep.
Or are they protected by the dome? It's an all-new episode of Under the Dome. Monday at 10, only on WUSA 9.
They're trapped.
Good to have them with us tonight. Bryce Harper goes to right field. Jason Worth gets off his feet for the rest of the night. And Scott Hairston will get some playing time at left. Jason, of course, still just several days removed. It would be, 5 days now since turning that ankle in Miami. Jordan Zimmerman, meanwhile, against Chase Utley, 6th inning underway. Chase Utley 0 for 2 tonight. And the Nats have stopped him in this series. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. And Chase Utley is 0 for his last 12. And against the Nats in this series, 0 for 9. Nissan will track strikeout number 5.
Yeah, pretty good curveball right there from Jordan. You see the fastball's up in the zone. Utley recognizing it up, and before he can hold up his swing, realizes it's a nasty curveball pitch.
Jordan Zimmerman, 5 strikeouts. Hasn't walked a batter. And he's given up so far 5 harmless singles to the Phillies. He's retired. Ryan Howard pulling ground balls twice. One to LaRoche and one to Anthony Rendon, who's playing near the second base umpire. Strike on the outside edge. Then some gas upstairs at 93.
See if he'll go up there with you again.
Yeah, why not try it? And he struck him out. 3 Ks in a row by Zimmerman. And against a roster of really great longtime Phillies, Rollins, Utley, and Howard.
I cannot wait for this one. There was people thinking that this guy was responsible for tonight. The Jason Worth Garden Home is home. And the first 25,000 fans will receive one on Tuesday, August 5th against the Mets. I have mine, and I'll tell you what, folks, this is a good one. Get it at all gates while supplies last. So you got to be here on August 5th. 7:05 start against the Mets.
25,000 of them. Marlon Byrd 2 for 2. Guy's having a series. Nats have tried to pitch him inside. He's 5 out of 11 with a homer, 3 RBIs. Batting average at .275 now for this 36-year-old veteran who will turn 37 right at the end of August.
It's impressive.
12th year in the big leagues. It all started with the Phillies back in 02. Nats 05, 06. He's right there with Anthony Rendon. An extra base hits. Rendon 2 tonight. They were tied coming into this game with 45. Target in. Phillies box score. Rollins is single in the first. Byrd leading off the second. Revere 1 out in the third. Back-to-back hits Byrd and Sizemore in the fourth. And then since then, Jordan Zimmerman shut the door. 7 straight retired.
What do you got on an Albert Bell comparison right here on the Marlon Byrd stance?
Yeah, good call. And when you do get inside on him, he fouls the ball off until he gets something he can work with. He's become a very crafty hitter at his age.
A leg kick.
Looking at his hitting pattern this series, 4 of his 5 hits have been pulled. The only one that wasn't, the homer last night. He went right over the scoreboard with that one. About 390 or more to right center. It is tough to get the ball by him. I'm looking at these swings and wondering, how has this man struck out 130 times?
Well, he'll chase in the dirt late. He'll also chase up late. But I think if you can execute the fastball in off the plate a little bit, that's where his hold is. If you miss out over, though, he can take that inside fastball and hit it the other way hard. There you go, down the dirt.
Got him. Take a long throw by Ramos. Right to LaRoche. And now Jordan Zimmerman has retired 8 in a row and 4 straight on strikeouts. Desmond ahead. Bottom 6.
It's all Nats. 11-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. But Asdrubal Cabrera could have been 3 for 3. They charged an error to Chase Utley in his first at-bat, but his second AB in the 3rd inning. His first knock as a National Leaguer, his first knock as a Washington National, and then he goes into the gap. Ben Revere lays out for it, couldn't come up with it, so a single and a triple for the newest Nat, Asdrubal Cabrera. He is a home run and a double shy of the cycle. Why not?
Well, I'm glad to see him get rewarded for some of the good swings he has taken in his first 2 games in a Washington uniform. Lined out a couple of times last night, as did everybody else. Ian Desmond 0 for 1 tonight. Walk, steal, run, sac fly. 66th RBI of the season. Cesar Jimenez gave up a base hit to Jordan Zimmerman. Since then, he's retired 4 straight. And Desmond takes some kind of swing when he sees the fastball up. Where do we start with the Nats box? I guess maybe the Utley error in the 2nd inning on the fielder's choice. And then when Rendon hit that home run, all 4 runs were unearned. A.J. Burnett was ejected. And then the Nats would add 5 in the 4th on 7 hits. So 2 of the biggest innings of the year in the same game.
I thought Chris Guccione was really aggressive to throw out A.J. Burnett earlier in the game. It didn't look to me like Burnett did a whole lot. And I don't think a whole lot of people in the ballpark really even knew what was going on.
Desmond hacks a high breaking ball into left.
And sometimes there's give and take between a pitcher and an umpire throughout the course of the game. I don't know what Burnett said, so it's hard to speculate, but he didn't really show him up a whole lot in my mind. At least not enough for Guccione to come sprinting out from behind the plate and throwing out an established major league pitcher. It wasn't like he was throwing his arms up in the air and walking halfway to home plate. And he just kind of made a little motion with his hand, and Guccione went nuts, threw him out. Who knows what preceded that? But still, it's Kevin Franzen pinch running for Ian Desmond. Desmond going to have the night off. Yeah, I mean, are you with me there? Didn't it seem like he wanted to throw him out?
Very sudden. That leads me to believe that there might have been something going on between them earlier in the inning.
But still, nobody in the ballpark knew what was going on. Nobody.
Bryce Harper fouls out to Brignac. First out, 6th inning.
I'll show you if you missed it. I guess you did. Watch Burnett right here. That's all he did was say that was outside. Sounded like he said, I've been hearing it all night.
And then Ryan Sandberg got tossed. Here's Cabrera. Now we get to see him from the right side of the plate. 2 for 3 tonight. Pulled a single to left. Then he just lined a hard triple to left center. Part of that 5-run 4th inning. Over in the American League from the right side of the plate. We'll have to check those numbers. The one thing I don't like about the stat sheets, when a guy comes over from one league to another, there are certain stats from the other league that just disappear. But he's a guy who can drive the ball from both sides of the plate, and that's a pretty healthy hack right there. Off the facing of the 3rd deck.
So I have 20 career home runs for Cabrera right-handed and 62 career home runs left-handed.
That's about the right ratio, isn't it?
But he's hitting 282 career right-handed and 264 career left-handed.
Wow.
So better average right-handed, more pop left-handed. That's a really good analyzation there, by the way.
No, that's those are good splits. One ball, 2 strikes. Reaching for one, pops it up short right field. Marlon Byrd for the 2nd out. For the Achiever and UPNC Bank with our minor league report. We're going to keep track of Lucas Giolito on his way through the organization. Low A Hagerstown right now. And in July, he was unbeaten with a 1.91 ERA. So look at the kid. He's a winner. 7-2, 2.17. Nice strikeout to walk ratio. He can bring it.
I can't wait to see him pitch.
There's Wilson Ramos.
Maybe see him in Vieira next spring. What do you think?
Yeah, how much time will he spend in the big league camp? That'll be interesting. If he maybe makes it to high A this year. Potomac.
Well, if he makes it there even for one game, he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they like their players down there. But he is pitching for them, not the other team. We had a laugh about that last night with the Potomac Nationals Hall of Fame featuring all kinds of guys who had played against them, some for limited at bats. Obviously made an impression. It's a breaking ball in on Ramos. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ramos has collected his 25th RBI. Jumps back from a high heater. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Yeah, off the plate in.
Wilson hitting around .315. 25 games now since coming off the disabled list. Noticed everybody's working him away. Like to see him get a couple of hits the other way and make them come back into him a little bit. He stands way off the plate. There he goes. Right side, but Utley's going to get to it and deflect it. Ramos a base hit. Franzen easily to third base. Impressive hitting by the Nats tonight. 14 hits.
Well, I like the fact that they're not giving any at-bats away. You know, 11-0 game. I talked about Jordan Zimmermann having to really focus, and sometimes it's tough to pitch in these games. But as a hitter, they all count. You know, they all go on the back of your baseball card. They all go on your average, and you don't necessarily give them away when it's 11-0. But you have a tendency for your mind to wander, and maybe not to focus as much as you would in a 2-2 ball game. But I'm seeing some guys grind out these at-bats and take advantage of a night when they can get their average healthy.
Jordan Zimmermann is very close to a perfect night with the bat. Had Marlon Byrd not robbed him of at least a double back in the third. He walked and scored in the second. Clean base hit to left in the fourth. And Jordan has 7 hits this year.
He is locked in tonight.
Yeah,
I think he's got a little leg kick that I haven't noticed this year. Maybe I just haven't noticed this year, but that ball he hit to right center. His second at bat was a bolt. You see the leg kick right there, and not getting cheated. Just missing an extra base hit.
Take like that seems to indicate he's seen the ball well. .88 upstairs looked harder than that from Cesar Jimenez. Two-two pitch. He's spotting that breaking ball. Wilson Ramos will be moving off first. Jordan Zimmerman is on base for the 3rd time tonight.
We always like it when your starting pitcher has 4 at-bats, and Jordan may get 5 tonight. Should have been on base all 4 times, robbed of a double. So far, Lowe's never stop improving, and look at DENARD span. What he's done in July and the first couple of days in August compared to what he did in the month of June.
Wow.
On base percentage, amazing. 452.
And he's now tied with Hunter Pence for the most multi-hit games with 38. Two for 3 tonight. Couple of singles, 2 runs, a sac fly. Third base, Franzen. Pinch ran for Ian Desmond, who singled to lead off. 2 outs later, Wilson Ramos, the single off the glove of Chase Utley. And then Jordan Zimmerman, the walk. Second time he's been passed tonight. Up and in to DENARD span.
.28 straight games on base for Span, and Anthony Rendon looking for a triple to complete the cycle.
Yeah. Span only has to go another week and a half to be up there with the best of the year, 37 games.
The way he's seeing it right now, he can do it.
Very impressive. His best stretch of offense easily in his 2 years here.
Well, that hitting streak was pretty impressive,
yeah,
too.
It was great. 2-2. Jimenez ready. Span to left. Well hit. Sizemore right there. We're going to the 7th inning. The Nats lead by 11. Part-time announcers on camera alert next.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Great crowd tonight. Unbelievable offense by the Nats. They had A.J. Burnett thrown out of the game early. It just has kind of landslid on the Phillies ever since. Bob and FP remember us, and it's good to be back with you after we were spectators for a couple of innings, and something you and I were certainly not used to.
Yeah, it was different, but that's live TV. It happens, and now we're back, and we come back to 11-0 game. The offense swinging the bats, Jordan Zimmermann doing his thing. So a nice, entertaining night for the fans here at Nats Park to see some offense, and like I always say, offense is cool.
In about a moment, we're going to see Asdrubal Cabrera over at shortstop for the first time. Kevin Franzen stays in the game. He'll play second base. So Cabrera over to short, where he's played the majority of his last 5 years in the big leagues. And of course, Kevin can play second, first, third, outfield. One of the more versatile guys on the team. Jordan Zimmermann, 80 pitches, 59 strikes. Through 6. He's gone at least 6 for the 15th time this year, and he'll face Grady Sizemore.
Yeah, I like this. You have some more flexibility to give Ian Desmond a day off. He's a grinder. Ian Desmond wants to play every single day. He doesn't want out of lineup ever. But now you got a guy, even though Danny Espinosa could play short and has played short throughout his career, he's more of a second baseman now that goes over to short. And that can always be a little tricky, even though Espinosa fine at shortstop. But that's an everyday guy you got there now. And you can give Ian Desmond a day off and have a real everyday shortstop that can absolutely pick it.
Guy over at first base, not bad either. Adam LaRoche makes that look ridiculously easy on an in-between hop on a ball with a lot of hair on it, top spinning its way down the line.
Well said. Not a problem.
Zimmermann, a little skip into the bag there at the end. Such a good athlete. Carlos Ruiz. See if he swings at the first pitch. 2 fly balls tonight in the series, 2 for 10. That was nasty, cutting to the outer edge. Strike one. Working quickly. '87, low in the zone. Steven Strasburg, Cole Hamels tomorrow. What a way to end this series.
Good one.
Nats hope to be going for a sweep, a split. Phillies took the first 2 games. They played well here, but one defensive miscue by Chase Utley cost him big time tonight.
Well, I was about to say before we were so rudely interrupted tonight is that this series reminds me of the Cubs series when the Nats dropped the first 2 and won the second 2, or it was starting to resemble that series.
And I think maybe in that series there was a blowout in game 3 as well.
Yeah.
Going the Nats' way.
First game of the doubleheader, I believe.
Up and in, 3-2. Ruiz to Cabrera. Backhand. Just flips it over there. Knew a catcher was running and made it look pretty simple.
How smooth was that? All in one motion to the backhand side. We talk about Jimmy Rollins last night and how, the longer you play, you have that clock in your head based on the speed of the ball, the speed of the runner, your arm strength, where you feel the baseball. Watch Cabrera right here. Just go to the backhand side. Know that he has a catcher running, but he gets rid of it so quick and gets the ball in the air that really doesn't have to use his arm. That was smooth.
Cesar Jimenez, first at bat of the year. First career at bat. That's why I couldn't find it. Been in the American League for a while with Seattle 06. And their property through 2012. And the Phillies picked him up last year. No balls and 2 strikes.
You know, they play smooth operator when DENARD Span makes a good play in center field here. They can start playing it for Cabrera in my mind, based on, you know, small sample size. First 2 nights of play he made at second, that play he made right there. Really nice actions. Very smooth.
11 straight for Jordan Zimmermann. His guys gave him a big cushion. He's now taken a stranglehold on this game. Cabrera, smooth first inning at short. Our troops. It's our DynCorp International Troop Recognition. And it's brought to you by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow. Stars and Stripes looking great tonight. 36,000, 155 in the yard. They've seen a great hitting night by Anthony Rendon.
Well, there's a base knock. Lousy single right through the hole. That scored DENARD Span. And this is the one that you were waiting to call for 9 games now. But I heard you do it. And this ball's crushed. Good effort by Ben Revere. Couldn't come up with it. That could have been the triple.
Yeah. Inside the numbers with Jeep. So when Anthony Rendon is rolling, the Nats win. Or is it the other way around? Hard to tell. 10 of his 13 homers in the wins. Look at the RBI disparity. Amazing. And he slugs. So a key to this offense. Not the key, but one of them.
You could do that for a lot of, you know, middle of the order guys and look at their average in wins and their average in losses across any ball club, and it would probably be maybe not that much difference, but there would be a good average in wins and a bad average in losses. I'll guarantee you if you check anybody.
It was interesting. Ryan Sandberg, or rather Larry Boa, now managing the Phils, left Jimenez in to hit and then changed pitchers to Mario Hollins. And Jimenez was good. Gave up a hit at the start of his stint tonight, but he pitched 2 1/3 scoreless. Nats knocked Hollins around a bit the other night. 2/3 of an inning, a run on 3 hits. Actually, 2 runs on 3 hits. And Anthony Rendon may not get another AB tonight. It'll be a 3 for 5 night. And now the hitter will be Scott Hairston.
Who doesn't love this game? RBI baseball. It's back. All 30 Major League teams and 2014 players get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console or mobile device.
Hairston facing Hollins. For the first time. Off-speed pitch well outside. Hairston hitting .245 for the Nats, 12 for 49 in 36 games. Jerry Blevins possibly for the 8th with Jordan Zimmerman at 97 pitches. Nats may give him a breather the rest of the night. His next start would be next week. Let's see, this is Saturday, so you're looking at Thursday as we wrap things up before going to Atlanta. It'd be against the Mets.
The Atlanta Mets?
Well, before we go to Atlanta. Breaking ball down and in. Hairston gone, 2 outs.
All right, here's your photo. That's our guy right there. It's brought to you by AT&T. Screech.
And by the way,
about to eat that kid.
I got to give credit to Screech on the field today. He was whistling at us, making a couple of bird calls. And the way I interpreted that, FP, he was taking responsibility for not making that play.
Yeah.
The other day when you called him out.
Eagle eyes. Right. The kid was in danger right there, and I'm scared for him.
Adam LaRoche 1 for 4 with an RBI double.
He's okay when he's eating a bunch of fishes, but every once in a while he gets hungry. You got to watch out.
Adam saw something on the inside edge and he was pumping. Nissan will track it.
A fastball, 92 in her half. There's a lot of deception in that delivery. He's got tons of stuff going on. Hollins has all kinds of elbows and kneecaps. And as a hitter, you try to block that stuff out and take your eyes to the release point. When a pitcher's got all this stuff going on, you see it peripherally, but you're still looking for that window where the ball is going to come out.
That's a quick playing 90 right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes to LaRoche. There goes the bat. He strikes out. This one stays on the field. And the Nats go 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. Is it Zimmerman or Blevins? Jerry walking in the bullpen toward the gate.
We're going to check out Jordan Zimmerman's night tonight. The fastball's been good, but the curveball has been the out pitch for all the strikeouts. Most of them, at least. There was a fastball right there. Watch the curve right here to Jimmy Rollins. That might have been a slider right there to Rollins. Pretty good curve right here to Chase Utley. Going to go heater upstairs to Howard. How about another curveball to Marlon Byrd down in the zone? So the curveball's been sharp and late and working with 2 strikes for Jordan here tonight. DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Jordan Zimmerman goes 7 for the 8th time this year. Jerry Blevins gets the call. Reed Brignac leads off. 0 for 1 on the career matchup, and a bouncer corralled by Kevin Franzen right side. Jerry Blevins needs a nice clean inning or 2 to get himself back on track. Jordan Zimmerman's line, 7 innings, no runs on 5 hits, didn't walk anybody, 8 strikeouts, 97 pitches, and 71 strikes. Great ratio. In line for his 7th win of the year. Ben Revere went 1 for 3 against him. And against Jerry Blevins' career, 2 for 8 with a base hit in this series. Juan Samuel, former Rookie of the Year with the Phillies.
I remember funny things about players. I know Juan Samuel could pick it at second base with anybody, but he used to wear the high stirrups.
Yeah, really high.
Really high.
Yeah. Swing and a miss on a big sweeping curveball by Jerry Blevins.
Well, that's news. That's the toughest guy to strike out in the National League, and Jerry Blevins just struck him out. Ben Revere's been barreling up everything in this series, and Blevins,
wow.
A 1-2-3 C. Get your glove to Ben Revere.
Even on the Nissan pitch track, you could see the tilt to that one. Darren Ruff will pinch it for Jimmy Rollins here.
Revere strikes out 1 time every 12.65 plate appearances. And that leads the National League.
Darren Ruff, a 28-year-old outfielder slash first baseman from Omaha, played at Creighton, former Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, and a .257 career hitter in parts of 2 years with the Phillies. Big guy who's got some pop. Only 26 big league at bats this year, 4 for 26 during that time. Ruff facing Blevins for the first time. And on the 0-2 pitch, Jerry 86 over but low. Just to update you, in San Diego, Braves still lead 1-0 behind Irvin Santana. That ball game has just moved to the top of the 5th. That's a game and a half up on Atlanta. They've lost 4 straight. Now that is serious damage. Clean inning for Jerry Blevins. Good for him. He needed that. It's all Nats tonight.
Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. So it's 11-0 Nats, a flashback. August 2nd, 4 years ago, on the road, and Pudge Rodriguez in Arizona, number 300. What a great presence he was in our ball club for the time he was here.
I felt lucky to watch him play.
So, 5th all-time homers by a catcher.
Yeah, I had a chance to play against him in his prime, but seeing him every day here as a Nat, or when he did play, just the first word that comes to mind to me is energy.
Yeah.
He's always ready to play, always loved the game, bouncing around back there.
Antonio Bastardo will be the 5th Philadelphia pitcher of the night. Ryan Sandberg and Larry Boa trying to piece this thing together without devastating their bullpen for a while. And they just got 2 1/3 scoreless from Jimenez, an inning scoreless from Hollins, and now Bastardo trying to wrap things up. Shortstop Blanco. That's Andres Blanco. So Darren Ruff is over at third base. And then that pushed Reed Brignac over to second base. So we got the Phillies infield organized as they get Utley and Rollins off their feet for the rest of the night. Ryan Howard's still out there. Kevin Franzen came in as a pinch runner for Ian Desmond 2 innings ago. So Desmond had a walk, a steal, a run, a sac fly, and a base hit tonight. Kevin Franzen has 2 hits in this series. He was the starter Thursday night at first base, had a single double and scored twice.
I have every Nat starter with a base hit, including the pitcher. It's nice.
And Franzen will lay off that one. Looks like Blake Trinan might get the 9th inning. Called back to the big leagues 2 days ago.
Look forward to seeing him air it out for an inning.
2-2. Upstairs, Kevin Franzen unable to reach that. Bastardo with the strikeout.
Legendary country music artist Martina McBride will perform at Nats Park on Saturday, August 16th. That's against the Pirates. Don't miss Nats Live post-game concert presented by the Travel Channel. It's free with your Nationals game ticket. All right, Martina.
Oh, yeah. Bryce Harper, good night. A walk, a run, an RBI hit. And against Antonio Bastardo career, 1 for 9. I'll tell you, this guy could be tough on left-handed hitters. He struck out Bryce 6 times.
Maybe why Bryce went up there first pitch hunting.
Mm-hmm. Ball cutting its way at 93 to the outer edge. Mercedes-Benz will follow it.
Yeah, 2-pitch guy, fastball slider. This paint right there, right on the black. Tomorrow's a big game for Steven Strasburg. He's going up against Hamels, and the Nats want to obviously split against the Phillies. And the Braves are just begging the Nats to run away and hide with this thing, and they're trying their best to do that.
Yeah, they've lost 4 straight. They're only 6 over 500 now. Game and a half back. Having a rough West Coast swing. Breaking ball, strikes out Harper looking. 2 down.
Remember, our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Medical Center for every tater a Nats player hits this season, so keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Asdrubal Cabrera, 2 for 4 tonight. Single, triple RBI.
Taking the batting gloves, by the way. A little fluorescent action.
Make your hands look quicker, maybe?
No, you look good, you play good, man. It's about style. It's about feeling sexy when you get in the batter's box. If you don't, you got no chance of getting a hit. Used to always joke, I'd rather look good than play good.
I remember a story about an old Pittsburgh Pirate named Dick Stewart. I think he played first base. Had a nickname, Dr. Strangeglove. He was not exactly a whiz over there. But they said he'd stand in front of the mirror before taking the field and adjust that cap and got everything in the right place, and said, I add 10 points in my batting average if I know I look great out there.
Yeah, never been in a slump in the mirror. Still haven't, really.
1, 2, 3, go the Nats in the 8th. How about 3 outs of work for Blake Treinen?
Home to watch the future stars of the Washington Nationals. Upcoming promotions include Jason Worth Monkey Rodeo Night, Rick Ankiel Wolverine Night, and Cowboy Monkey Jason Worth Night. So you can go to the website or call the number on your screen for all those wonderful promotions.
I love minor league baseball. Whatever happened to the guy spinning around the bats and then trying to run the bases? Here's our Honda do-up for the Phillies in the 9th. Andres Blanco will be the leadoff man. Just took over at short for Utley, or rather for Jimmy Rollins. Ryan Howard, the Nats have held him hitless. And then Marlon Byrd, nobody's holding him hitless these days. We welcome Blake Trinan back to the ball club and back to the big leagues. 9 appearances, a 2.29 ERA, 20 strikeouts in 35 innings. He's a pitch to contact guy who has to move the ball around.
Well, if he's pitching to contact with 98 miles an hour, that's
they've been able to make contact.
News to me, but he went down to work on the slider and the off speed, so we'll see how it looks this go around for Trinan.
That's some pretty good movement away on that one.
It's 98th.
Wow. Yeah, you look at his numbers and you wonder why there aren't more strikeouts.
When the secondary pitches catch up to his fastball, the strikeouts are going to come in bunches. Because I have to cheat as a hitter to get to 97, 98. What I mean by that is I have to start my swing real early. And if I'm starting my swing early and you have anything that's softer that breaks, I'm not going to get to it.
Blake Trinan turned 26 back in the first week of June. That's a fair ball. He jammed Blanco, got around on it on 97. Bryce Harper will dig it out of the corner and rifle it to Cabrera. Phillies have their first hit since the 4th inning. Jordan Zimmerman had set down the last 11 he faced, and then Blevins had the 1-2-3 8th inning. Inside the numbers with Jeep. With Ryan Howard coming up, strikeout to walk ratio since 1900. And look at 3 of the teams are pretty recent. Yankees, Nats, Phillies. So 3.38 strikeouts for every walk they issue.
9-0 tonight.
Yeah, that's a good ratio.
Yeah, last I checked. It's pretty decent.
Ryan Howard.
I'm telling you, Blake Trinan's one of the few pitchers I've seen that he throws his fastball and it's so effortless. And you even look at the swings that I have to look at the speed gun to see if it was a changeup or a fastball. Just the way it comes out and how he's so smooth with his mechanics. I mean, that looked like a changeup to Howard. I looked, it was 98.
Nasty hook at 85.
It's a good slider or power curveball, whatever you want to call it. And if this starts getting in the strike zone, look out on a consistent basis. Because now you can bounce one, go back to the fastball in. It opens up a lot of different ways you can get a hitter out.
Right in there. Ryan Howard frozen. Stares at Chris Guccione. 1 out here in the 9th.
I think he's staring at Blake Trinan. And the reason he's staring at him is he's thinking, you throw 98, it's an 11-0 game, and you just drop 2 curveballs on me like that? Well, hey, he's trying to stay in the big leagues and show that he can get big hitters out. You see the wow, and shook his head and maybe thinking, there's no way I can hit that.
You get a wow from Ryan Howard?
Yeah. It's a good wow.
Next up, Marlon Byrd. See what he does with a right-hander. Out of play, right side.
Well, he's got closer stuff. I mean, and there's a lot of people that have projected him as a future closer. You go 98 with a nasty power slider / curveball thingy that goes 85 in the strike zone. You get a lot of saves.
Well, he's 4th year professional baseball. If you forgot, Nats fans, he was part of the Michael Morse deal with A.J. Cole. Player to be named later that turned out to be Ian Kroll. I mean, that's a deal that could pay dividends for this organization for many years. Nasty breaking ball, 1-2.
Well, he went back and worked on his off speed, and early returns it's way better than the last time. The curve has been money here in the ninth.
One on, one out in a count of 1-2.
Wow.
In the dirt. Yeah.
I'll give him the wow on that one.
And if Marlon Byrd didn't say it, you did.
I mean, it's sharp, it's straight down, and it's coming off a 96 to 98 mile an hour fastball, which makes it even better. So back-to-back strikeouts for Blake Treinen, both on nasty. I'm going with curveballs.
Yeah, those are big-time hooks.
Even though it's 85 and people say it's a slider, that's straight down. That's a power curve.
Well, a crowd of 36,155 saw quite a show tonight. That is just outside the bag foul. Final check of the scoreboard shows that game in San Diego in the top of the sixth. Braves still lead the Padres 1-0. Base hit right field. Runner coming around. You know, Bryce Harper would love to throw somebody out at the plate for the last out of a game, but Pete Mackanin stopping Blanco. First and third, 2 down. We'll be with you tomorrow afternoon for a 1:35 first pitch from Steven Strasburg. 3-1 career against the Phils. And Cole Hamels' 15-6 career against the Nats. We'll get you going at 1 o'clock with Nats Extra. FP and I join you from the booth at 1:30. Strasburg and Hamels, marquee matchup tomorrow. Treinen against Ruiz. Runner goes to second.
The Nats need the Padres' secret weapon, Tommy Medica, to show up again tonight. He went 5 for 5 last night with 2 home runs against the Braves.
We get to see a little bit of him out there. Impressive. Left side. Rendon. The Nats will twirl the shutout and beat the Phillies 11-0.
All right, nice job with the bats tonight. Jordan Zimmerman, fantastic. Everything went right for the Nats, and partner, I think that's our best broadcast of the year by far.
I am exhausted. I don't know about you. The Nats, bats, making plenty of noise, and now it sets up a possible split tomorrow.